Hello and welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stu Booth.
You had to think about that then, didn't you?
It wasn't all.
The cogs were going, but hello, I'm Jack Luffman.
It wasn't that. I was debating whether to go in with hello, welcome to Sporting Jibberish, happy birthday, Jack. And I was like, but then when this goes out, it will be your birthday, but when we record it, it's actually your happy birthday eve.
Tonight, yeah, so my birthday is tomorrow. I was just trying to figure that out.
But yeah, you're on about my cogs turning.
Yeah.
Well, that was hard work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when this goes live tomorrow, when you see it, Jack will be 47 years old. Congratulations, Jack.
It's -6, Stuart. I think you've still got a year on me.
Oh, is that right? I'm not sure about that. But yeah, looking forward to I was going to say festivities, but wouldn't call it, would you?
Yeah,
Would you call it festivities?
Celebrations, festivities, whatever, yeah.
Celebrations
Tonight,
this evening.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Pizza Express, I've not been there in ages.
I know, yeah. You're like a stranger there, aren't you? Never been.
I'm worried when I go back tonight, it's going to be the same guy. I'm going to be sat in the same seat, being served by the same guy. That's my worry.
Marvellous.
It would
That's what
be.
I'd say.
I
I'm looking forward to it. We've not done a big brunch for a while, actually.
No, and the strange thing is there's actually your birthday going on in one section,
Yeah.
and Watto's birthday going on in a different section.
We're in the VIP, mate.
So we're going to be like interluding between the two groups.
Oh, that's a very nice word.
Oh, thank you.
Very good.
But yeah, right. This week's show, we are going to be talking Brook versus Khan, the battle of the granddads.
You say you're not a fan, are you, of this?
Just absolutely. Well, we'll go into detail about it. I'm just going to hold my thought there. We're going to talk a bit about fantasy football. Strange week, big week this week. Lots of double team entries.
Yeah. I need to get onto that today. I'm going to do it after this. That's what I'm going to do.
I started mine this morning, and I've just remembered I've not finished it, so I need to go back onto that. So I'll have a little look at that. We're going to start with Sporting Week, and how did we get on with the old
cricket? Yeah,
cork and ball, because you actually had yours on Sunday.
Yeah, so
Sunday, because we were having a social get together, which Jack said he was going to attend, didn't attend, came up with 73 different excuses to try and push Charlie off the scent, and then just let us down.
Now, to be fair, Charlie couldn't really organise it in a brewery, could he? And then I couldn't order it the same. You're the only one actually above. He got himself sorted out, really, haven't you? Was gutted to miss the Culture Club social, but I'm prepared to take a fine as and when the Kangaroo Court is held. But yeah, we're playing Ajmat against. Well, they are bottom of the league because we won again, but they weren't actually a bad side. Strange, I think and they've actually got the league's leading run scorer. Again, not a good player.
So are they a new team and an old team?
They're a new team or a new name in this version.
So they could just be finding their feet.
So I think they are, because I think they actually bowled well, and then like I say, they've got the top bat in the league, and then the league owner or Omar, he also opens a batting for them. So they're not the worst, and we did well. We managed to get to 189, which the skipper Dave thought we were 30 short. I wasn't sure. I thought it was a good score on that because the wicket was a bit green. They didn't see.
For the non-cricketers on there, what does green mean?
Well, actually, sometimes you've got good covering of what they call live grass. It actually is a bit quicker. And actually, when we played Ajman, if you remember in that night game when Titans put basically the first team, UAE team, however it was, it had that, but it was quick, and so that's really good for batting, for bowling, and for spin bowling. So it looked a bit like that. So usually that would be good. Sometimes in England when it's green, it means it will seam sideways. But this, when it got going, it was quite thick green grass.
It didn't run then?
No, when it hit the seam, it didn't seam sideways, it kind of just stuck. So it's what you'd call toupee. So some zipped on and some then just sort of got stuck, so you kind of like playing it in front of your body, you're not quite timing it right. So it was an easy wicket. Me and Jay opened the batting because Clint's not available this week, so Dave had a look, just sort of different combinations, which, don't mess with the game, but that's fair enough anyway. So we managed to put on 50 odds.
And you?
I got 30, and Jay got 40 odds. And then everybody sort of chipped in. Clint again came in at 5 or 6, got 30 odd off not many balls. And young Cavalier had a good bat, 25 off not many balls. So we got to 189, and then we were unbelievable with the ball. We got considering that the good player was he 14 off 4 balls? Off the first 4, well, not the first 4 balls, the first 2 overs, and he was hitting it well. But yeah, we got him out, and then we just built pressure, outstanding again, to the point where, so there's a bonus point win. The bonus point win is if you bat second and you chase the score within 20 overs, you get the bonus point. If you defend the score, and I think it's defend 80% or less of your total, you get the bonus point. So we're trying to work this out on the field. The umpires have got no clue. So we're going into the last last 2 overs thinking it was about 1-5-1, 1-5-2 or something like that. And it was 150 with 2 overs to go. And we hadn't bowled them out. So I said to Dave, we've got to try and get it. Just bring everybody in. Doesn't really matter because they're not going to win the game. So if they then, anyway, you would not believe that Clint's bowled 1 over for 1. And then Nav's bowled and made it over. So we got the bonus point by 0.25 over 1.
Wowzers.
So we're top of the league, unbeaten in 5. I think we've got 19 points, 6 points lead over second place. So, really good. And then,
so you're on your second round of games now?
So we're playing them. So it's like 9 points. So it's like a different league to before, Chris. I don't know why they do that, but they do. So I think we've got 2 or 3 games left in this group, and then we go to semi-finals and final.
So, and is there another group that sits alongside your group?
No, not this year. So
if you win this league, this mini grouping, that means you should be winning this full thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. So the DSL 9.1, you've got the top league. I don't know what they call them. I would call it Division or the Premier.
Yeah.
You've got Division 1 or the Championship, and then you've got, they're saying 3. Well, in fact, they're not the same. They're equal kind of leagues, but they're not that way. They're still going down. So you then got 2, 3, and 4. We're the top of that next bracket.
No.
So if we finish top of the league thing, then going to the knockouts, we'd obviously be favoured. It probably looks like we'd probably be facing the Exiles again in the semi, but we should wait and see. And the boys played last night as well.
Yes.
On TV.
Ooh.
On
Was
YouTube.
this the Thursday night tournament or is this a different tournament?
No, it's Thursday night. It's the same as where the schoolboys are playing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Vision.
Yeah, where I was magnificently won out of the week.
Yes, where you would beam in at 3 point minus.
I broke the sound barrier.
Yeah.
I was that quick. Yeah, no, they won last night, so they chased 1-4-9 in 10 overs to win the game.
Beautiful. And first 100 for
the debut 100 for the Wanderers. Jay scored 102 off 37 balls.
Hope you're taking note.
9 4s, nice. I'm too old for that, mate. 41 tomorrow. What have you been doing this week anyway? You've had no football, have you?
No, I'm currently injured, but we didn't have a game anyway, so good news on that part. We await the big game next week is Irish.
Oh, is it?
So at the moment, you'd probably say that this is the big 6 points at the top of this table. If we win, we go level points with them with a game in hand.
Yeah.
If they win, they go 6 points ahead of us with us with a game in hand.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's very much
6 points, let's say.
Yeah, exactly what you said.
Yeah, and that's Thursday.
That's next Thursday, yeah. So that's the 7s. So we're recording this Friday, so we should have had a game last night, but we didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
So we play next week.
Fingers crossed.
So we went out to celebrate Heggs' birthday last night.
Oh, yeah.
Had a few blackcurrants at Pizza Express.
Short ones.
Smoke, with cranberry juice. And something else in it. Ice, that was it.
Ice,
baby. But it was good evening, nice little bit of social bonding.
Yeah, you need that.
Had a bit of a laugh and a joke. Dead bizarrely is a player that's not with our team, that's been training with us. He was like, he plays for another team. He texted me this last night. He's like, what are you up to? I said, we're going out for a social. He's like, where's my invite? I was like, well, sign for us and you can come.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's texted me this morning saying, get your gaffers, give us a call.
Oh.
So
the night out was like the sign on fee. That was the final
possibly,
thing.
yeah. It's
nothing to do with the ability.
I think what he likes is the biggest aspect is that part and parcel of football is the social aspect, and probably like all sports.
Yeah, definitely.
If you have a good social group as well, you tend to see that results swing your way. There's a little bit more camaraderie with the team. Everybody helps each other out in bad situations. So it was good. Just a few too many Jaeger bombs. That was the only issue.
Oh. I couldn't agree more with that actually, because you start to trust people, don't you? I remember last year when Exiles, we were getting a bit better socially, just staying after lunch and things like that. And this year's been much even better than that, because people realise that you need to start to know each other and know how each other tick. You don't have to be best mates with everybody. But you need to know what makes people tick, what their strengths, when somebody's feeling a bit low, and you get to know that while talking. And obviously, you don't have to drink, but sometimes the alcohol is sort of just makes people a little bit freer, a bit looser. And
you start understanding of people is probably the big aspect. But it was a good night, so look forward to, because I think Irish is going to be our hardest game of the season.
Yeah.
And they look like they've got quite a good team. Conceded a few too many goals probably for their liking. They've conceded, I think, double the amount we have. So it'll be interesting.
And you fit? You're going to be fit?
Really flick of a coin at the moment.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, so you've got your 4 major muscles, and I've got the one right in the middle of my quadricep that I've pulled, and it's linked to my hip. So I can bend my knee, no problem. So my knee doing that movement doesn't hurt.
That's it.
But then it's linked to my hip, so when it's my full leg movement, that rotation, it pulls, and it's really, really painful. So, flick of a coin, I'm hoping so, because each day it's got better. And I was in the gym this morning, did a few old squats, which again, bending the knee was okay, but then when I went to do lunges,
sure.
I was doing it with no weight as well. I'll just try it. I could just feel a little bit between those lines, just stop now and leave that alone. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Right, I've got 2 things for you. We're going to go through the results of the football, and then I've got something I found on the internet which I thought was pretty interesting with regards to points gained per season based upon the value of the squad.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you in a minute. We'll go through the Premiership results from last week and the weekend, and then I'm going to ask you who you think may be top and who may be bottom.
Is this? Oh,
I'll go into more detail, but let's crack on, because last week we recorded Thursday. We recorded Friday. We recorded Friday because we did Liverpool game. So
yeah,
we'll just
Friday after. Yeah. Didn't we?
Yes. So the Saturday's games: Manchester United 1, Southampton 1. Wreck-It Ralph.
Ralph's wrecking and doing his job.
Just not clicking. What is going on with that squad?
I don't know. And they're saying that I was reading this morning actually. There's some infighting between. By the sound of things, Ronaldo wants the captaincy because they think Maguire's rubbish.
I tell you what is interesting is
basically what's going on. I think
I was in a conversation the other day. They were talking about how Pochettino's potentially lined up to take over United, and this came from a United fan. Was what warrants Pochettino to take over at United, considering he didn't win anything at Spurs.
Yeah.
They got to the final, which was the peak, everything else went wrong after that point.
Yeah.
He then went over to Paris Saint-Germain, inherited the best team in France, and finished second.
Mm-hmm.
So what warrants him taking over a team or a club of Man United's stature and size over somebody else that's won things?
It's interesting because I think Merson said the same, and he said the same. I don't know that. I think that what I would say, if you talk about the Pochettino thing, I think they obviously liked what he did at Spurs, clearly had a vision, did very well with it, arguably should have won the league when Leicester won it. I don't think anybody would doubt that. Got to a Champions League final, anything happened in a final. So I think from what they did, obviously Spurs played some good football then, didn't they? And he developed some of the younger players. I mean, Dele Kane's of this world, Carl Walker were all not products just of him, but he's taken them to the next level. So I think they obviously see that. The Paris Saint-Germain point is a good one, but I think you said it before as well, that it might be the best squad in the world, but there's something not quite right there, isn't there?
Yeah.
I still think he should win it, there's no doubt about that, but maybe that's because he's tried to go in and stamp his own authority on it or whatever, and some of the players don't like it, or whatever. That's the other side of it. Who's going to actually go to Man United at the minute who is a serial winner? I think my man at Spurs is still probably, he still could end up there. Conte, but other than that, who's going to go there? If you're going on which somebody's won trophies.
You'd be going at one of the old guard then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, or the lad from, I suppose the guy from, is he Bayern Munich now, Ajax, what's he called?
I know you're on about, but I was thinking the guy that was at Everton that went back to Real Madrid.
Ancelotti.
Would he potentially be?
I mean, I think you are in that realm. If you're a Man United fan, you want somebody who has won a pedigree of winning trophies at a good level, then you're going to the old guard, because the new guard, who are perennial winners, they're already in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And like I say, Conte still wouldn't surprise me. You know, we've said that before. Still wouldn't surprise me if he decided to turn his back on Spurs.
I think it'd be interesting to see what Levy gets put in place, because did I read that you were on about another old ex-player? Oh, that was it. Bringing Christian Eriksen back. He's only a 6-month contract at Brentford. And I was saying to this person, I was like, but when players go back for the second time, it doesn't work. Gareth Bale should have been a learning point
Yeah.
Like came back, struggled, was.
I don't think he was managed very well, but
it was half the player
you,
was when he was.
There's talk of him coming back as well, which again I agree. Like that bit's been and gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with Conte, I know he did an interview in the last 24 hours or so where lots of stuff has been taken out of context about what week. If you read the full interview, he's very quite open about what he's trying to build and stuff like that. But having said that, I still think he's got to get back to the summer transfer window.
I tell you what, I doth my cap at you because we start off talking about a completely different team.
No, but we're talking about the
always end up back on Spurs.
But it's relevant because you're talking about that.
We're talking about Man United.
But
Man United drew 1-1. Yeah, well, Gareth Bale and Spurs.
You brought Bale up.
I'm talking about ex-players, not working coming back.
But Pochettino, I still think it would be a good move for Man United personally.
Oh, we'll see. Right, Brentford 0, Crystal Palace 0. I don't think anybody saw that one come in as a 0-0. I thought that might have been a game full of goals because the kind of both teams...
Not very strong defensively.
And you think that the strengths are going forward for them. Everton, I believe, from what I'm hearing, is Goodison Park is rocking at the moment. And the atmosphere that they're kind of creating there it killed the game for Leeds. They couldn't get into it. And Everton won 3-0.
I saw the highlights of that on Sunday morning,
yeah,
and it definitely looked that way. Lampard definitely had him going, that's for sure.
So interesting. It'll be because I did say I was a bit worried about Everton, and obviously that result kind of then not completely makes them safe, but gives them a nice little buffering point. But
interesting, Van der Beek was outstanding.
Yeah, but I will see how they go away from home then. If it is a home thing. Watford losing 2-0 to Brighton. He's not managed to do any magic at the moment, but we'll see what happens there.
I think that's a bit of not a statement, what's the word? An indicator of how far Brighton have come this season, because I think that they've done okay. Well, they've done more than okay under Potter, but I think a lot of it's been on, at home, and they've gone alright, or against sides that have prepared to play football against them. And I think last 2 seasons, that even though Watford are struggling bottom of the league, I think they could have struggled there.
Yeah.
But it's fairly comfortable by all accounts.
Yeah. And then another fairly comfortable result was Norwich 0, Man City 4. I don't think anybody would have seen that.
Free hitting it from that nice City, that.
Yeah, you've just got to write that off, and then it doesn't get any better for them because they're at Anfield next up.
Are they really?
Unfortunately, I suppose the good thing is you get both games out of the way with them, don't you? And then moving on to the Sunday fixtures, I watched this game at Charlie's at the Culture Club. Sat in the garden. It was freezing.
It was cold. I got cold actually. Yeah.
We watched Burnley lose to Liverpool 1-0 in what can only be described as probably one of the dullest games I'd seen this season. The weather was horrific.
Yeah.
Bad swirling winds. Burnley don't let you get the ball down, and they booted the ball up. I tell you what's interesting is Weghorst, who played up front, big boy, gets through one-on-one with Alisson, just got to hit the target, and he's completely scuffed. He's got to kind of dink it over Alisson, and then just towed it 20 yards left, and you're just thinking, how's on earth he done that? Because he could have scored for them, which would have made it more interesting. But I think Liverpool just probably did enough just to get up the line, but uninspiring game.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it, but I did read that it was.
Yeah, it was it was bad. And then Newcastle at the same time beat Aston Villa, so great run, 3 wins in a row now for Newcastle. Maybe 4.
4.
3 or 4 wins.
They've gone alright.
And against a good Villa team, and then what on earth has gone on here? Spurs 0, Wolves 2, 2-0 down after about 10-12 minutes, weren't you?
Yeah, obviously I saw the second half when I finally got in. But the first half, apparently, it was absolutely fine. They just had this mad 10 minutes where basically we've literally gone, there you go, have 2 goals.
Yeah.
I watched the second half. I think the intent was actually okay, but goodness me, did we give the ball away? Oh my God. And Son and Kane and Moore just did not have the sniff because we just kept giving the ball away.
Yeah. And
Wolves were much the same actually.
Well, I tell you, Wolves again, they've kind of done it when they go back 2 or 3 seasons, gone under the radar and just creeping up that table.
Well, they've gone above us now.
Yeah, just creeping up without really anybody just going, look how well Wolves are doing. They're just kind of just that lingering team that could just go and pinch a European players.
Yeah, and I think the difference with them is at the minute, this is probably from this season to last season, they kept the key players fit.
Yeah.
I actually think getting rid of Traore is a blessing because I don't think he has to worry about whether I play him, should I play him. He didn't have to worry about that. The spine of the team, Cody's a great leader. And he's got Jimenez back and sort of back to fitness.
Yeah.
You've got Neves and
Jimenez is a class player. I just don't know why a bigger team hasn't come in for him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the head injury, Alfred last year's probably put people off a little bit, but wouldn't be surprised. I mean, ideal striker, isn't he, for the top 5, top 6.
Even if you were a team outside that, like a Spurs, where you were thinking, we need to break into the top 8.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's number 9. We're not with the top 8.
You went straight in there, didn't even.
You
tired, Jack. Right, we'll keep just throwing these ones in and see if he keeps biting. And then Leicester drew 2-2 with West Ham. And I listened to Declan Rice's interview at the end of the game. He was gutted. You go back 12 months, 18 months, West Ham to go and get a point at Leicester would have been a great result. And they're turning around going, almost like we've just dropped 3 points again.
It was a good game. I did watch that.
I didn't see any of that game.
I must admit, I didn't see because
I watched part of it. There's the Culture Club, but I think we then went into the night. No, we watched the rugby was at the same time as the Liverpool game. We watched it. We did the 90s music quiz.
You said
It was the bizarrest thing ever. We just put like YouTube on, and not for the podcast.
Charlie loves that. I've done that before with it. It was crazy.
We had a brilliant time doing it, but
I didn't see the Dawson equaliser. I think was a bit controversial. So I didn't see that. I'd gone to bed, but other than that, it was a good game. It's proper like how Leicester, even the year they won the league when it was raucous in the stand and it was just like attacking football. But it was like that. West Ham will come on, weren't they?
Yeah.
They could still sneak that 4th spot because nobody wants it.
No, well, United have done themselves some favours. They had a game on Wednesday night when everybody else was preparing for Champions League. Man United were preparing for Brighton at home. I see Fernandes was quite happy with Pogba's assist and like he was going to celebrate it well with him, didn't he?
Loved it.
Yeah, so United picking up the points there, so good result for them. But expected, to be back at home.
Yeah, it should be.
It shouldn't be. Oh, well done. It should be. That's one of them you tick off and go over 3
off to go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, move on. But then, interestingly, Champions League games. So Real Madrid losing 1-0 to PSG after Messi missed the penalty. Mbappe scores one right at the end.
Good goal as well.
City go to Porto and absolutely destroy them. 5-0 game. Safe tie over with. Liverpool went to Inter Milan and the game I watched was very, very good. And although it took to the 18th minute to get a shot on target, tactically the way the two teams set up, it was really, really interesting, especially from a football point of view. It didn't have that many goals scoring, but Inter Milan kind of pressed with their front 6. Really pinned Liverpool.
Who's the manager
there? Inzaghi.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So they had a really bizarre system where they kind of let Liverpool start it out of the back, and as soon as it went out to the centre backs or the full back, it was like a wave of 6 players that went in and pressed. It was interesting, but they just, I think Liverpool were used to that type of pressure and were trying to play around it. Inter Milan hit the underside of the bar in the first half, should have gone 1-0 up. And then just as the game started to go on, you could just see that they weren't able to maintain that. They're not probably used to playing that system. Like the Premiership, it's all high intensity all the time. I can imagine that in Italy, some of the games are a little bit like
walking pace. Yeah.
So I think they just died off when it got to about 60th minute, and I could just see that they just started to legs were going a little bit. They weren't pressing as well. Thought we'll pick that play, and we did. Good header with Firmino, and then Salah. Slight deflection, but on the shot it makes it look like it's a bigger deflection, but it's just the keeper makes a step.
Yeah, gosh, one step. I've seen the 2 goals good. Incidentally, Milner made his 800th professional appearance, which is staggering in its own, just of that number. But then when you think he's over 28 career, that means he's playing, he's averaged 40 games a year.
And you're not even talking for bad teams, you're talking 2 Premier League winning sides there.
And Leeds United in the Premier League at the time, Newcastle when he was... So that's averaged 40 games a season. Now clearly when he made his debut, he's not made 40. So at the pinnacle of his career, he's playing 50 to 60 games a year.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I actually saw him at the golf fair 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. And he is in unbelievable shape.
Oh yeah, they reckon he's the fittest lad in Liverpool.
Unbelievable shape.
It's a machine.
Just 800 pips, flabbergasted. almost as flabbergasting as this stat that I read. So Chelsea have been out and have won the World Club Championship, whatever they want to call it. That Azpilicueta, whatever his name is, there was talk about whether he should go down as one of the legends, modern time legends or greats at Chelsea, alongside like Terry and Drogba and all that, because he's now won a staggering amount of competitions, captain, etc. But what was the most interesting stat was this: that they reckon is he been there 8 years, 9 years, whatever it was, that in that period of time he has not made one mistake that has led directly to a goal.
Wowzers. That's unbelievable. And
I'm like, that can't be right. And I was reading that, and it was. So apparently, even when he's given a penalty away, they've missed the penalty.
That's phenomenal.
What unbelievable, wasn't it? So however long he's been there,
that's one for your quiz.
Yeah, he's not made one, according to stats, one error that has led directly to a goal.
Shocking. So where do you think? Because Milner's up this year. Where do you think he wants to finish his career off? Leeds.
I would have thought maybe back at Leeds.
Finish it off there.
Yeah. Do you know what? If they sell Phillips, because there's rumour that Phillips might go in the summer, could be a lot replacement.
Yeah, but again, how much game time are you going to give the guy?
I mean, because how fit he is he going to get through 40 Premier League games now?
No, not a chance. Right, we're going to go on to this challenge I've set you. So we're basing this on last season's league finishing.
So last season,
and it's not based on. It's based on the squad value, or it says purchase value, so money spent per point accumulated in the Premier League in 2020-21. So money spent, what does it say? I just want to read the actual...
So it's money spent per point game.
So it's money spent per point accumulated table for the 2021 season. So it is a case of the squad value is said to be at this amount, and then how much money is spent to get that squad value on. So your value of your squad is also need to be taken into account.
Okay.
So who would have been the best team with regards to least amount of money spent per points?
Least amount of money
so you've got to think, in this aspect, you've got to think of the value of the squad, how many points they've got in that season and who did well.
I'm not going to say the top, I'm going from a thought process.
Okay.
Because I actually think your team will be quite high, because I don't think for the amount of points they got, they spent a lot of money.
But you've got to take into account the squad value as well.
Right, okay.
So that would then...
So it's not just what
it's
they
not just
last season.
Because if you talk about just purchases, I don't think Liverpool bought anybody.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Yes, that would have made them probably the highest value.
Right, okay. But
take into account that the squad is worth so much.
Well, that makes it a bit more tricky to think about.
Alright, well, reverse it then. Who do you think's the worst?
Well, like Man City.
Man City, yeah. So Man City average points, considering that season they finished on 86 points. It might even be the season before. Yeah, season before, I think. 86 points. Value of the squad is 838 million, so they're worth 9.7 million per point.
9.7 million per point.
Yeah. Who else do you think is pretty bad?
Probably Spurs. They spent quite a lot of money.
Spurs 6.3 million per point.
Yeah.
Which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 puts you in fifth place.
That's fifth lowest.
Fifth lowest.
Yeah.
Fifth worst team.
Fifth worst. So and that just does that not show how poor their transfer is? Because you're only £3 million less than what City is.
Well, it's saying that your value of your squad is 393 million, and you got 62 points that season.
Yeah. So who would be up there for the most points? It's got to be somebody. Leicester City.
Leicester City are what you would class as a mid-table team. 276 million their squad, 66 points makes them 4.2 million per point.
Oh my goodness! So
the best team is 1.9 million per point.
1.9 million per point. What a Burnley.
Burnley second, close. Theirs is 2.2 million. Their value of their squad 85 million, and they got 39.
So there's a squad in the Premier League last season.
I'm looking at this. It says 2021, but I can't think who got relegated last year.
Sheffield United.
Right, so it could be last year's. Yeah, it is last year's. Then Sheffield United, Fulham, West Brom.
Yeah, they got.
Right, so it is last
So
year.
maybe Sheffield United got to be up there then, probably.
Sheffield United are one place below Leicester City.
So who the heck? Well, so it's a squad worth less than 85 million.
Oh no, it doesn't mean. It means that maybe they scored more points, but
yes.
the value could have been a little bit higher.
I don't know. I'm gonna last guess Brighton.
No, it was Leeds United.
Was it really?
So this is the table here. It's Leeds United value is 115 million. 59 points means they were 1.9 million. Then it was Burnley, West Ham, Fulham, West Brom, which you'd expect, Brighton, Southampton, Newcastle, Palace, Villa, Leicester, Sheffield United. Obviously because they just had such a low total.
Yeah.
Cost them. Wolves, Everton, and then it's your big hitters: Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Man City.
You're basically saying that your top. They are. If somebody said to you the top 7 or 8 clubs in England, that they're the 8, but they're all the bottom 8, aren't they?
Yeah, you're looking at, with regards to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the top 6, or the bottom 6 teams are the heaviest with regards to value for their wins. And Everton just outside them.
They don't really get value for money then.
Not really, no, not considering.
But I think you would argue, people would say City, Chelsea, Liverpool do have value for money because you've won trophies.
Yeah.
Man United, Spurs, Arsenal, not so much.
No, not when you think Man United are the second worst team and they've not been within a sniff, have they?
Because let's be honest, Fernandes has been a hit.
Yes.
Who they've bought in recent times. I'm thinking of recent times.
Yeah.
Fernandes has been a hit. Pogba can play, but it's just not done it for whatever reason. And bar that, and they obviously spent a hell of a lot of money on Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
But bar that, their transfer record is about as good as Spurs is in the last 5 years, I would say.
Yeah. It's shocking, just as shocking as this fight is this weekend. We'll move swiftly on to Brook versus Khan. So, the big battle of Britain is going to happen this weekend. They claim it's a grudge match.
Yeah.
I just think it's too overrated.
Well,
past the sell-by date. Guys are trying to squeeze out a little bit last money before they eventually retire. And let's be honest, it's only going to end up one way, and it's going to be Khan being knocked out.
do you think?
Khan's got no chin.
It's interesting, isn't it, that you're right there, that they've classed it as a grudge match, and I think yesterday they got a bit too naughty with what they were saying to each other as well by the sounds of things. Is it all an act? That I don't know. Eddie Hearn's been trying to get this fight on for years, hasn't he, when they're in the pomp, and it's never happened. So that again says something. There's nothing on the line, is there?
No.
And it shows because I was reading yesterday that if they don't make the weight, there's a 6-figure penalty for every pound that they're over.
Jeez. The weight's today, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're going to get down to £149, haven't they? Which they reckon Kell Brook's going to struggle to do. And the injury say about his chin, and there's somebody who was saying that Khan is feeling the pressure because they did an open workout. Was it the Trafford Centre? I think they did it.
Oh, did they do it there?
Yeah. And Brook came out and did whatever he got on the pads, blah, blah, blah. And Khan just came out and shadow boxed. And they were saying that it could be a sign that he's knackered.
Yeah.
That he's done so much work in the gym that to then go and do, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever, adrenaline, because there's a lot of fans there. Could be a sign that he's knackered. He don't know where
to. I think Brook's got too much power. Khan's got a weak chin. And Khan's a little bit older as well, 36 now.
Yeah, it must be. He spends a bit of time out there, actually, doesn't he?
Yeah, so...
Because when did he was he Olympic gold medalist? Or
yes.
he was Olympian, wasn't he?
I think he was an Olympic gold medalist.
Was he Olympic? When was that? Was that Beijing 2008?
I don't know, he's, 4 years younger than you, 5 years younger than you, so it would have been, maybe he was 17, 18. I don't know, I'll work that out. That's way too quick a math for a PE teacher.
If he's 36 now, if it was 2008, that's 16 years, so 20 years. I think he might have been Beijing then, 2008. It wouldn't have been Athens 04 because you'd have only been young up there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you that it does stink a little bit, doesn't it, of, a bit like a Rocky match.
It was going to happen at the end of the year. One of them will get knocked down, then they'll be cuddling each other, and everything will be okay.
I hate that about boxing. Like, if you just genuinely don't like each other, respect each other and say, yeah, well, fought, but don't then start acting like mates.
See, Fury's been attacking McGregor lately on Twitter.
Because he's out here, isn't he?
Well, McGregor's been giving it big licks about somebody else, hasn't he? And then Fury's gone, gee, pipe down, mate. You need to just calm yourself a little bit.
Could you imagine if McGregor suddenly tries to decide that he's going to fight him? Because that's the kind of mental thing you think he could do.
Yeah. But they reckon McGregor's beefed up, but...
Tyson Fury just pick him up like that, wouldn't it? Just
Yeah,
walk him over him, like that.
It's like Harry with one who's big,
Yeah.
size 700 hand, just picking people up.
Yeah, those claw things that the kids always
Yeah.
want to buy the thing. It's just a money grabbing thing. That would be Fury, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just walking around
So,
with McGregor.
yeah, we'll wait for this, but in bated breath, I will not be subscribed to it, I will not be watching it, I'll be sleeping. But before we disappear and we start the birth festivities,
Might have to have a little cheeky one in there.
it's fantasy football, this week's winner, Sam Holiday.
Sam Holiday, and he was last month's winner.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
so Sam, get in contact, get your vouchers.
Talking of which, we're going to finish this now because I need to go do my team. So, at the end of the day, Stu.
What do we know?